Get on TikTok, people. These people on TikTok is making some
it.
content.
It was a banger.
They're making
I'm
some
glad
content, but yeah, but this video speak to what Nick was just talking about right now.
I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. Then you're going to be the reason Trump gets reelected, and then all your rights will be taken away. I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. Well, when the Republicans get in office, they're going to go ahead and make this back to Jim Crow South, and Black people won't have any rights. I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. I understand. I am anti-genocide too, but it would be way worse if anyone else was in the office that isn't blue. I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. You think the Republicans won't kill Palestinians? They'll kill more. I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. We need to think about us and only us in this country. You think they'd care about you? Oh, for the love of God, I will not support anyone who supports and funds genocide. They brought this on themselves. You're just anti-Semitic. I'm still not supporting anyone who supports and funds genocide.
That's the response, and that's the nice way. Nick put it in a more direct way, but that's essentially what Nick is saying. You got to both saying the same thing. This video went viral on TikTok. That's why I downloaded it.
CJ, do you mind? Do you mind?
No, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, you mind when exchange clips because we're on the same topic because, bro, young people are seeing like they going through the same thing I'm doing, but people are I guess more mentally well adjusted than I am. So people are going through this. We're all going through this gaslighting together, and this is a time where people who weaponize sarcasm and comedies thrive. So this is white liberals in a nutshell right now, and this is pretty much is a reference to my bit. I know some of you guys, man. I chose abortion just for comedic purposes. The abortion was a symbol for just the overall ask. You know what I mean? Support genocide because of this. Support genocide because of that. I know I deserve it. I'm probably get someone to clip that video like Nick came out and get some. I get it. I deserve it. I was trying to be funny, but the point was we're not gonna pick your liberal issues. It's in sacrifice Palestinians and enable the war machine for that. So let's look at this video as we're exchanging funny clips that are relevant. I think it was great. I saw this earlier today. Great video that sums up our critiques of white liberals.
We're white liberals. We say that we're not in a cult like MAGA, but then we'll dismiss any and all criticism of Joe Biden as Russian propaganda or voter suppression. We're white liberals. We use women's reproductive rights as a pawn, while ignoring that apparently the president can bypass Congress when it comes to funding a genocide, but not when it comes to codifying Roe v. Wade. Yep. We're white liberals. We'll bully you and say that if you vote for anyone besides Biden, that you're voting for Trump, instead of helping you organize and find a different candidate that isn't a dictator or a genocider. We're white liberals. We'll tokenize anyone from underrepresented groups who are in favor of Biden, while encouraging you to ignore and block anyone else who might speak out against him. We're white liberals. We'll try to scare you into voting blue by reminding you about Project 2025 and the threat of fascism under Trump. Even though people from underrepresented groups have told us that, despite its name, Project 2025 has been in motion since the 70s and 80s, and they already experienced fascism under Biden. We're white liberals. We'll gaslight others and ourselves into believing that life is significantly better under Biden, despite the fact that we're all struggling to feed our families and pay our bills. We're white liberals. We'll act as saviors to marginalized communities, but we'll also blame them if Biden loses and tell them they can deal with the consequences of that, usually in graphic detail. We're white liberals. We'll feign concern for Palestinians, but we won't actually watch the raw footage of them being attacked and unalived en masse. We're white liberals. We'll talk down to people of color and pretend like we know what's best for them, even though the wall's still being built and Cop City's still going up. We're white liberals. We'll watch tone-deaf Instagram posts made by our leaders and dismiss the thousands of comments streaming in, demanding a ceasefire, and just say that they're Russian bots. We're white liberals. We will talk over people in marginalized communities instead of listening to them and trusting their lived experiences. We're white liberals. We'll be recognized as Person of the Year for giving the economy a boost with our concert sales, while staying silent in the face of a genocide and actively destroying the environment with our private planes. We're white liberals. We like to say that we'll hold our own to account, but then we'll just ignore and justify it when our own leader is complicit in war crimes. We're white liberals. We'll put BLM in our bios while simultaneously condemning another country's resistance group that was born out of an unlawful and violent occupation.
Bro, she kept going. Bro, she just kept going. It was so well done. And people thought that the warnings we got from Malcolm X about white liberals was like a historical quote when people be like, do you guys remember what Malcolm X said about white liberals? Wasn't that interesting? Like, no, that still applies now to this day. And there are so many people that go into the shock of realizing that true. But CJ, do you have anything else? I want to bring Nico and we got our first.
We can bring him in. Yeah, we can bring him in. I'm sure he has something to say about this AOC video and just the whole experience of what we're talking about right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, we have Nico House back streaming on YouTube. You guys haven't known. Nico House back on stream on YouTube. Killing the game with Hotspot, you know what I mean? Independent journalist doing the thing out of Brazil. What's popping, my brother Nico?
What's good? Yeah, man, I'm back.
Up,
if y'all have not yet, go and follow me on YouTube. Real Nico House. Started my new podcast, For the People Pod. Super excited about that. Yo, that video, by the way, she was dog. The self-awareness. It's the self-awareness for me, man. Like, Lord, like she's saying shit that black people be saying when we by ourselves and nobody else is listening. That's what she was.
Yep.
Oh man, for real.
That's true.
Like shit. She going in right. Oh, she's still going. Oh shit, she's still going. All right, well go ahead, cook then.
Yeah, so Nico, I'm happy you here. Like you and Misty are the perfect people to have, in particular, with some of the topics we have today. This dropped in my lap. I don't know if either of you saw this earlier, like yesterday. I didn't, so I just saw this when I woke up this morning.
I didn't see the video till I knew she said some dumb shit again, but I haven't seen it till now.
That's like
like
saying, "Oh, I knew she woke up." Yeah.
Probably, all right, so I'll rewind. We're likely not going to get through all of it. Maybe we'll watch maybe 2 minutes of it or something because she says a lot of bad stuff. So we'll see how much we get through, and then we'll move on. Nick, if whatever segment you got next, and then I can follow up after you.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all know Jay. He only gonna be able to get off 2 minutes because y'all know when all three of us get together, that shit don't ever get finished.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let me play 1 minute. Bro. Yeah, let me play 1 minute straight. I'm not gonna stop, even if you tell me to. I'm just gonna play 1 minute straight, and then I'll stop it. Let's do that. Let's play 1 minute at a time, and then that way we can get through it. Let's go.
Had it or hit it, Joe Biden.
Hit it. You know, honestly, here's the thing. I think sometimes people want electoral politics to be. We overly identify with it's like if you vote for someone, they have to be the embodiment of you. And that's actually something that I think Donald Trump provided to a lot of people, where it's like, if you voted for him and if you were a Donald Trump person, like you want, like it symbolized so much. But I think what we have here in this situation is a more just honest thing. There are plenty of things that the president does that I completely disagree with. I think, right now what's happening in Gaza, I can't go on every single day seeing this. I don't associate myself with what's happening.
No, you
That's
do.
1 minute. Go ahead.
You fucking
Nico.
do. You literally associate yourself with what's happening. Like literally. Oh God. Almost.
Yeah. If you support Biden, Go ahead, CJ.
Let me chime in, then I'll pass it to you guys. What I find about this argument about I disassociate, this is what the professional managerial class has taught. This is more of a therapy session for themselves. They have to talk themselves. They have to disconnect their vote from complicity in what they're seeing. But it's so weird because, if Trump gets in and anything Trump does, it's all the voters' fault who put Trump in there. But it's not your fault. None of the stuff Joe Biden does when you put him in office. So this is more of them trying to save their dignity, save their self-respect by saying, no, I disconnect my vote. This part of my vote is not for this. As if we can do that in our system. But go ahead, Nico.
Jay, you know what though? You know it. It was a Freudian slip. What she said. She was dead ass serious when she said she disassociates with what Joe Biden does. That's exactly what she does. She pretends that it doesn't exist. She separates her conscious from reality so that she is not forced to acknowledge it and then deal with the contrarianistic way that Joe Biden is versus how she tries to tell people he is versus who she tries to pretend she is. She doesn't want to deal with it, so she disassociates. This is what people do in real life whenever their actions don't necessarily match the image that they project onto the world, or at least the way that they see themselves. So yeah, it's crazy to me because like everybody who voted for Trump, it just means something. You don't know what it means. I lived in Miami. I've seen every single type of Trump supporter, just like I've seen every single type of Joe Biden supporter. But they overly identify with Biden as well. AOC doesn't say whatever she has to in order to achieve power, even if it's a lie. She doesn't pretend to empathize with the working class when she actually has nothing in common with us at all and will sell us out the moment it meant she can get a higher position in office. She's exactly like Joe Biden. It's the same type of people. Like that's what most neoliberals are in the United States. It's the same type of shit that she's accusing Trump voters of doing.
Yeah, and this is why there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with RBN, with Rome in particular, and the way that we talk about Biden voters. And Nico, there's no reason why a lot of people are uncomfortable with you, because we straight up say like you voting for segregationist white supremacists, and you enabled a genocide by voting for Joe Biden. That's why I tell people to their face. If you're protesting Cop City and you're upset about what happened to George Floyd and police violence, you enabled that with your vote. And they're like, no, I didn't. You can't say that we're responsible for who we vote for. Think about that for a second. How does that make sense? They say this as gospel. You can't say we enabled this because we vote for them. How does that make sense, though? You vote for someone, put them in power, so you are responsible for everything they did. You can't complain about kids in cages if you voted for Joe Biden, because you did that. And you guys understand, I know this sounds simple to us. Go ahead, Nico. Go ahead, Nico. Let me unmute you.
No, I was saying you can't complain. What you can do is say, I voted for Joe Biden, and therefore I have to be accountable for him putting kids in cages, regardless of whether or not that's convenient for this narrative that I've made for myself about him being the best person or being better than Trump. That's called being accountable. You can't complain and then say it's your fault and then do better the next time. Because you can do that. People are adults. But what they want to do is, what AOC? AOC told you what they do. I disassociate from that, bitch. Did you just say I ignore that in a bunch of syllables? Like that's basically what you said. But you can't complain. That is my point. Is like I'm one of those people. There's too many egos involved in politics, and that's probably partially because of the social media aspect of it. And people are now using their politics as, to AOC's point, a major part of their identity, at least the one that they once again project in front of people. But like, whenever you mess up, you can just say, hey man, shit, I got this wrong. How many times we gotta do that about Bernie, about Tulsi, about this bitch, about like time and time and time and time again? That's okay though. You can just say, hey man, shit, we got that one wrong. And figure out why you got it wrong and do better the next time.
Absolutely. Go ahead, CJ.
Absolutely. All right. So let's see how much we can get through here. Let me know when you want to stop.
But at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that we just can't allow this fascist movement to grow in this country. And what I think is actually hopeful about our politics is that we can exist outside of electoral politics in organizing our communities and standing with our friends. And, if it's coming down to this next election, for me personally, the decision to vote is not a difficult one for me, because just because I'm voting for him doesn't mean that he embodies everything about me.
Right.
Why?
So that to me is where I'm at. But I think
we can continue. We can keep going. I just said that's convenient. It's a very convenient ideology for people who vote for the lesser two evils, right?
Bro,
and they say, well, it doesn't matter. We gave power to these people. Don't you know I tweet about this stuff? Is that the implication? I support this, so it doesn't matter that I gave people power or evil. But let's continue.
Bro, she really acting like she said some philosophical shit. Like she was. I can vote for him because he doesn't actually represent me. What the fuck kind of double speak is that, bro? What the?
What's the difference in voting for Trump? What's the difference in voting for Trump then? Couldn't you say the same thing about Trump? You could say the same thing. Like, this is such a flawed... But this is what the professional managerial class, they throw out these things they think sound very, like, logical, and then it just takes the three of us. Like, guys, this doesn't make any sense because we can spot bullshit. But let's listen a little more. She goes on to... now, I don't know this show. I don't recognize these two host. Maybe she's playing to the audience, but I've heard her speak in these terms about Joe Biden. I don't think it's a coincidence that you see this on a Majority Report, on TYT, on a Humanist Report. Everybody's projecting lesser of two evils all in the same 5-day span.
Please don't tell me
it's not
TYT
a coincidence.
Still on that shit. Is TYT still on that shit? Are
they they're soft pushing it until Cenk backs out, or because you remember I think he's still running. I haven't heard him talk about it in a long time.
Until who backs out?
Cenk Uygur. Has he backed out?
I forgot Cenk is running for. Cenk's still running for president. Oh shit!
Yeah, he's still running. Yeah. So here we go.
He's something. I don't know about running. He like slowly walking. Like
people are gonna get mad on the internet because that's what they do. But I think we just gotta be.
This is specifically about us. When you know you're a sellout, you know when you're saying sellout shit. So you go, I know all the real people, all the real ones are going to say something about this. And understand, I say this all the time, and I'm going to keep repeating until people catch on. The term online, on social media, these are terms to mean dumb worker. It means you're saying a lot, but your voice doesn't matter, worker. That's what that means. Because
even though she's always on fucking Instagram Live.
Exactly. As these people are on the same platforms trying to give their platitudes. But let's listen.
People are going to get mad on the internet because that's what they do. But I think we just got to be adults about the situation and realize.
Remember, crystal ball, grow up. This is about calling you stupid. They always have this terminology around online. Go ahead.
And the funny thing is, and I mentioned this before, when you look at Rome is very online, and he will admit it. Who's more like Rome is very active on Twitter, Facebook, and stuff like that. Someone who you would consider online left. Who does more than Rome?
Mm-hmm.
The people who are most likely to post about politics online are the people who are most likely passionate enough to engage in activism. That's the same for everything. I remember I was training Muay Thai. The people who talk about UFC online are the people who usually fucking passionate enough about training about it.
Right.
That's the same with politics. Like the people who post online are the people usually most involved. Do you think people that are not passionate enough about politics talk about it are the people who actually engaged in this shit? The people who are not engaged 24/7, you think those are the people doing activism? It's usually the people you see online. Think about Nico. Think about CJ. Are all the great activists online? Misty. Fantastic. She's our guest now. Fantastic journalist on activist. She's online.
It's very rare that you have
online. So why is there this demonization of being online as if online doesn't lead to activism in the modern age? You know what I mean? But go ahead, Nico. I think you want to chime in. We bring Misty in.
I was just saying that it's very rare that you see an activist who's like in the streets all the time, who is not chronically online as well. Because one, that's kind of how you find out where you need to be a lot of the times, right? And then you find out what other people are trying to, what other issues people are fighting for and need help in collaboration with and resolving. But also like, she's always online.
Exactly.
That's her whole thing, is being online and mad as hell all the time. Like she was literally known for this when she came into power. And she's been leaning, and she's always leaned into it. That's basically her primary funding mechanism. So like those chronically online, stupid, immature people are good enough for you to accept their donations, for you to accept their votes, for you to accept their retweets and their likes. But they're not smart enough to, because it's those same people who donated to her that are saying they're refusing to vote for Genocide Joe. And now those people are stupid. That's very interesting.
And think about what she's demonizing, guys, when she says this. This is why I want to take it in another direction as well. she's demonizing people who engage politically, the people who engage in political discourse. She's saying, don't do that. The people who engage in political discourse are unserious. The people who don't pay attention are people we should care about. Just think about the core of what she's saying. If you're online left, you're not relevant. Your opinion is not important. Everyone who's watching this on YouTube is apparently online left.
But so online left got her elected.
Yeah, so think about it. I talk about this all the time.
Literally. If you look at her goddamn party from when she won, it's a bunch of online leftists who went to New York to get her elected. Literally. But just fucking gaslight us to death, I guess. Like
you read theory online.
She be gaslight. I know there's gonna be a bunch of online people who get mad because you just told us that you're not responsible for your actions as a congresswoman. You just say, yeah, I know Joe's committing genocide, but I disassociate from that. He doesn't. That part of him doesn't. Well, how about this? You know what I like to do? Sometimes people get mad at me because they be like, Nico, you always think you're right. You know what I tell them? I'm not arguing with y'all no more. Tell me when the fuck I was wrong. How about that? In our relationship, tell me when I was wrong. So AOC, tell me what you do associate with from Joe Biden. Tell me what you do support. You notice how she does not have that part of the conversation in any of these interviews that we've been seeing her on lately. It's what we should ignore, not what she actually supports.
Yeah, well said.
Facts. You want to bring in Misty?
I won't bring my guest in. Yeah, I won't bring our next guest in. I tell you guys, we got banger after banger after banger in 2024. We got not only Nico House in the house with us, we got another amazing journalist, amazing activist. Someone do amazing. I know Misty always like, man, no. Misty does amazing work for the Joy in the Silence movement, does great stuff on the show. And I miss our rant sessions, my friend.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Welcome to RBN once again.
That's crazy. Misty ain't never get her hair done to come on my show, but she goes to RBN.
I always do my hair to come on your show. When's the last time you invited me on your show?
I haven't even invited myself on my show lately. Don't be too upset. All right.
In a minute. I was sitting here waiting for Nico to shut the fuck up so I could come on the damn show.
No, we talking about AOC. You know goddamn well. You know goddamn.
There's a lot to say about AOC. That's why I said it's perfect that we happen to have the two of you on and had this gem of a video drop. All of us have commented on it. I think I've read or seen at least all of our tweets. So I know we all have a lot to say. We're going to watch maybe another minute or so of this so we can move on to our next topics. But overall, Misty, have you seen the video and what is your overall thoughts? If you have, if not, we can get right to the video.
I have not seen this video, but I love the comment that's in the comments right now that said I'm the diversity hire on RBN.
That's
I'm the token white. I'm the token white. I love
it. All right, so let's listen to the video. Let's listen.
Like that electoral politics is just one. It's just one small sliver of how we make the world better. And if we put all of our eggs into that basket, people start acting way too crazy. And Donald Trump is what you actually get. Donald Trump is what you actually get when you want a politician to embody all of your hopes and dreams and caricatures of yourself. Yes. And Donald Trump affirms insecure men's idea of masculinity.
Yes.
They affirm insecure people's idea of wealth.
Internalized misogyny.
Yeah, insecure white folks' idea of race. That's what you get when you want your everything to come, all of your life and identity affirming things to come from electoral politics. You get demagogues. Right. People who want to symbolize these psychological things.
We had 3 minute mark. I was trying to be disciplined.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you. Oh my God.
But you guys, and I'll be sporting. We got
just as smart as white kids.
No, Nico, go ahead. No, I'm asking you. Go ahead. Expound on that.
Oh my God, bro.
She's so embarrassing.
You know what's wild about the Joe Biden? I always say Joe Biden is, because Donald Trump, at least for all of our critiques and criticism of Donald Trump, you can't say Donald Trump is not successful. You ask any athlete or any star, have they stayed in a Trump hotel at some point? They have, and at one point they probably liked it and enjoyed it. Joe Biden is literally the epitome of failing up. Whenever people say you can't be president unless you're an idiot, like you can't be president unless you're a racist or complicit with racism, or at least you can't stay president for 4 years without being killed. Like Joe Biden is the epitome of this man plagiarized speeches. This man can't remember what he had for breakfast. This man can't go to the bathroom by himself. He is literally hiding out in the basement right now. This man was literally a segregationist. He got called out on stage by his other Democratic competitors and then brought one of the women he called out to be his VP. And she just act like she ain't see it. She gonna act like she didn't say what she said. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, like, yeah. Joe Biden is basically what you describe as Donald Trump. It's white liberals' way of, if everybody else can ignore Joe Biden's racism, then maybe people can ignore my racism too.
Exactly it, sir.
Yes.
It's the same shit. It's the same shit, but maybe worse. It might be worse, honestly. It's probably worse.
I think it's worse. I genuinely think it's worse. Well, first of all, can we stop pretending that Joe Biden is not demonstrably worse than Donald Trump? Period. End of story. The guy has 50 years in politics doing horrific things. Trump doesn't even come close. They're not even in the same arena. Donald Trump is a piece of shit businessman who screwed people over for his entire life, rigged the system in his own personal favor, took family money to build himself up, did all of those things. But he has not been a politician for 50 years, passing horrendous legislation, being a racist, all of those things. Like, it is absurd to me that anybody is pretending like Donald Trump can even, I mean, the guy could have served 2 full terms and he's likely going to, and he still wouldn't come close to doing all of the horrific things that Joe Biden has done over 50 fucking years. Can we stop that? It's so stupid. I'm so tired of that conversation.
I mean, I don't know how the fuck you can do worse than damn near World War III
right?
At this point, right?
A genocide. My guy is doing a genocide right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You have to go full fucking genocide to compete with Joe Biden. Congratulations.
So you had well, just 1 second, CJ. You had AOC.
Yeah, go ahead.
Essentially describing the Trump cult, and this is why we've been repeating the phrase "blue MAGA." The idea that the Biden code is they are easily worse than MAGA. Mm-hmm. The Democrat code, because remember when they said Trump was like, if I could shoot someone in front of Fifth Avenue or whatever, and Republicans would still vote for me, and they're like, "I'll see this is an example of a Trump cult." Joe Biden is funding a genocide, and y'all still voting for him.
You can shoot somebody, right? Bro, I'm not shooting, but I'm gonna get the missiles to blow him up.
Bro, what's worse, shooting someone, killing one person, or being responsible for 15,000 Palestinian dead children? The shooting on the Fifth Avenue is worse. So Joe Biden committed a genocide, and they still, Olayemi, these shit livers still saying they vote for him.
Yeah, but Nick,
you guys realize this, and I'm going to write this. You guys realize when the news that Nikki Haley may be Trump VP was floated, I saw MAGA people for the very first time ever say, "I would not vote for Donald Trump and Nikki Haley was the vice president. I would not vote for." Whether that's true or not,
that's vote for Joe Biden. That's basically vote for dumb. Oh shit! Nah, I can't say dumb Joe Biden because Joe Biden is dumb. Joe Biden with diversity hired Joe Biden. There you go. There you go. Appreciate that from the chat. Diversity hired Joe.
Yet to be seen. But Trump people were saying, "Hey, Trump picked Nikki Haley, I'm out." And Trump picked Chris Christie for vice president, that was out. So, and there are Trump people that say Trump like turn on NATO, they be out. So there is a cultist element in the Trump base, I believe, as well. Yes. But it's way less culty than Democrats, because based on what I see, Trump supporters got a red line if he picked Nikki Haley. Biden supporters have
and
no
a lot
red
of them
line.
banned ship for Vivek too. Like a lot of them thought, I mean, that's a whole different conversation between them, but they thought Vivek was better. So you had Candace Owens, Mike Cernovich, and a bunch of Trump supporters actually saying, well, this guy seems more close to what we actually want out of Trump than Trump has been, and therefore we're willing to give him a chance. So like you don't see that with Biden. Biden, you still got his supporters pretending like there was never a primary.
To be fair, though, Biden voters, it's not really about Biden. It's vote blue, no matter who. It is the blue cult. That is
the worst type of
cult. It doesn't matter. Yes, it is, because there's nothing. And it's so frustrating, because that's the way our entire political environment is set up. It is incredibly tribal. It is so unbelievably tribal, and people completely lose their ability for critical thinking. They completely lose their ability to recognize reality. And what's so frustrating is, like we just talked about, if my team does it, it's fine, totally fine. Joe Biden's doing a genocide, but it's fine, guys. But if Donald Trump were doing that, can you fucking imagine? Can you imagine how different?
Bro, the world went crazy when he put the embassy in Jerusalem.
Yes.
Like they wouldn't shut up about it.
Liberals wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. It's crazy. Joe Biden is on vacation.
I disassociate from this genocide, though. I definitely dissociate from this genocide.
Yeah, but Joe Biden's on vacation. He's been on vacation like all the time, right? All of the times he's on fucking vacation. Trump went to like golf too many times, and liberals were freaking the fuck out. You're not mad because Joe Biden's on a beach in the middle of a genocide? Like you're fine with that? That's cool. It's just the absolute hypocrisy is so exhausting. It sucks.
Exhausting. Let me get back to the video.
Things. Joe Biden doesn't do that. And I think that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, right.
Because like, you know, it's more honest, I think, about where we are, whether we like it or not.
He's our grandpa.
What?
He's our grandpa
from our alcoholic stepfather that abused us for 4 years.
To your pedophile grandpa.
Joe Biden literally is the alcoholic stepfather who abuses fucking his daughter for fucking years. That's literally him.
Yeah.